a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold, but things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I have today. Time's gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end.
Oh, yeah, we're going to interrupt the guys because Krislyn's in the house, and we got things to talk about. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern, and yes, this is one street over. What's happening, y'all? One street over from where you live in. Let's all say it together. Mayor Billy Vogel says we are living right because we are blessed to live and work in Robertson County. And anyway, so Krislyn's in the house. She is with StayPositive.News.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. We were
course.
both talking about getting stuck behind buses. Mine because I left the house too late. Krislyn because she's not quite used to the new dynamics where you live. When did you move to Greenbrier?
Last December, I moved to Greenbrier, so I'm learning, I'm figuring it all out. But like I was telling LaVern, my family has lived here forever, and so really, it's a welcome back home.
Welcome home.
Yeah, thank you.
To the Bobcats.
Whoop, whoop.
And yes, I know I'm a Bobcat teacher. Okay, my husband is a yellow jacket over at Springfield, and we love them all. We love all of Robertson County. Wish I could know as much about all the schools that I do about Greenbrier and Springfield, but we've just got such a great county, and I love that StayPositive.News taps into that. And you share those stories. I've talked with Chris Valines. He's Mr. V over at Greenbrier, and we just love him so much. Love that he's there with us. And he was talking about we need to do a story on some of our kids at Greenbrier that people just don't know about. They just don't know the really cool stories. And so, he's like, oh yeah, we'll mention something. I'm not going to start calling names because then I'll get in trouble. But there's so many that you just go, man, people need to know about this young person. Yeah. Because it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. And that's really why we started Student Spotlights, was to really highlight that and bring all of these students to the forefront and what they're doing. And it's incredible. I mean, we know that these students are doing incredible things, but then when we find out the details and the stories and how they got there, it's incredible knowing that they're doing this here locally, and they're our next generation. So they're our next group of people to do the things in our county that we want done. So
we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. And they're all getting ready to fly. We've got graduation starting up.
Yes.
Springfield's is tomorrow night. There's one tonight, and I forget which one, but then Springfield's is tomorrow night. Dr. Weeks and I went over this yesterday. So Springfield tonight, you've got East Robertson Friday night, White House and Joe Burns, I think, in the morning on Saturday, and then or White House then on Sunday or Saturday evening. Then we've got Greenbrier then on Monday.
Wow.
And I'm just not sure. Like I said, I don't know all the specifics of it, but that's the ones that I'm fairly sure of right off the top of my head. But the schedule's if you just go to your school's webpage, and you'll find out all about it and what the details are, so you can go and honor these kiddos.
And if you're a grandparent with like multiple kids and multiple schools, you can just go to the Robertson County page and see all of the graduations at one, which is very helpful.
And they're going to televise them. Yeah. We're going to do them. I was talking with Jesse. He is our everything digital and media at Robertson County. I forget his exact title, but he's brilliant. He's so good at it. He's borrowing some of our equipment because they're going to do a wireless transmission, and they're going to do it all with some of the equipment that they've bought us. And so they're, bringing things together. It's going to be awesome.
I'm a 2020 Robertson County graduate, and I have to say that is one positive from COVID is that graduations were able to be live streamed. And that's something we've been doing since then. And I can go back and look at my graduation anytime I want. And so it's really special.
So you graduated in the middle of it.
In the middle of it, yep.
So you got kicked out of school.
Kicked out, yep.
Oh, man.
Sure enough. It was an interesting journey, but I really think it shaped us into who we are, right? I think that, and to be honest, I think 2020 got the lucky end of the stick. We didn't have to go to high school in masks or do any of the virtual school or anything. It was just like, you're done, so.
Yeah, I got you.
A little, with that, I take gratitude, so.
Well, that's the way you have to. You have to see the positive in all of it. I have said this statement many times. If you're close to me, you know that the Lord has restored what the locusts have eaten, because the locusts ate on us last year, and in a very big way, and He has restored it.
That's awesome.
Tenfold. And it is just such a blessing. And so when you grow through those things, and that's the positive side of it. That's one of the things about StayPositive.News. Not everything is easy to really, you see the struggle in it.
Yep.
You see the heartache in it, and then you see the beauty on the other side of it.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about. It's about, rising up through the ashes.
It is. And I think for a lot of our writers, that's their favorite part, is finding these stories that honestly really started in a negative way, and then finding the way to flip it and make it a positive news story.
Yeah. It's just cool.
Yeah.
I was listening to some stuff this morning. I'm always trying to find devotional kind of things to listen to in the morning, and this is like a famous coach, and I can't remember what his name is, but I can see him. But he has a child that was born with the disease that allows him not to feel pain.
Wow.
And he said that whenever they got him diagnosed, they said, well, a lot of these kids don't live to be very old because they end up injuring themselves and nobody knows it and they die. And he said now when they recorded this, the young man was 25.
Wow.
And said that he's had something like 70 surgeries for breaks and things that, that nobody knew about, and said he's thriving. But he said that what he and his wife gleaned from watching the journey is that the pain that just like people are like, well, why can you, say yay for the struggle and yay for the pain? Well, that's preventing you from hurting yourself. Right. And that's the thing that they got out of that, is that's the reason everybody's like, how can you, worship a God that allows suffering and pain? Because the suffering and the pain oftentimes prevents us from going into something that would take our lives and kill us. It is that alarm that says, hey, step back.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And he said it so much more eloquently than I did. I'll find that and I'll share it. So good.
That's awesome.
So good. So good.
I love that. What a good way to start your day, to hear those stories and know. Yeah.
Well, it's something that my friend Shannon Baumgartner told me several years ago. I was just absolutely, it's back when I was still doing politics real deeply. And I vote. I don't miss a vote. I know what's going on politically, and I know what my responsibility is in it. And if it's in my ability to affect or change it, it's my responsibility. If it's not, I do the best I can and I hand it to the Lord. So that's where I'm at politically. I vote. I stay engaged. I speak out truth, but I don't engage in the near. I just don't anymore. And I don't think that's what God's called me to, but I quit turning on all the political talk stuff. That's what I used to open my day with. I would go to bed with it, and then I'd wake up and I'd be like, what happened while I was asleep?
Wow.
I was consumed with it.
Yeah. And
my friend Shannon came in one day, and it was at a particular time that a lot of us that are in my world, in my, on my team, were a little down. We'll just leave it at that. You can probably figure that out. But she came in, I was like, how are you so positive? She goes, I just give the Lord my first fruits every morning, whether that be in silence, whether that be in praise music, whether that be in a devotional, whether that be whatever it is. She said the first fruits, and sometimes I forget. I get distracted, and I'm like on this thing, and something is like, oh, squirrel, and I'm like, that's not God. Let me get away from that for a minute, and let's get back to to the Lord for a moment, and just let Him start my day.
Right.
And so it just makes a difference when you start your day. But that's why we have StayPositive.News.
Yes.
So you can find those positive things. Let's segue into why you're here.
Yeah, let's do it.
We'll go. You and I.
we love to chat.
When Sarah told me you were coming, I'm like, well, we need 2 hours.
We'll chat all day.
We need 2 hours because we'll talk all day.
I love it.
Anyway, so where do you want to start?
Yeah, so I just want to kind of start on that same note that there are stories that stick with you. And we're noticing within Stay Positive News that that's really what is sticking. There's a lot of community, there's a lot of nostalgia, there's legacy and full circle moments. All of those things are very relatable. And so those are stories that are sticking with people. So something that we've been noticing is that people are connecting most with the stories that they can feel something with. And that makes perfect sense, right? And so that's why with Stay Positive News, we're specifically focusing on that good news. I've said it over and over again, and I'll say it again, that the statistic is for every 17 news stories, there's only one positive news story. And so kind of like we were talking about, starting your day with that good news and wanting better for yourself. And so that's really what we're focusing on, is bringing that good and positivity here to both Robertson and Sumner counties, and hoping to grow out and continue onward and upward from here.
And Robertson and Sumner, because this kind of burst out of White House, which shares both counties, y'all.
Right.
It's just the reality of it. And so we have our sweet little community up in White House that we share with Sumner. And so that's where the StayPositive.News was born. And so that's why you have the Robertson and Sumner, which is, I have some good friends in Sumner that will come on the show from time to time that are just ministry or school stuff. Yeah. Every now and then one of the schools from Sumner will come on and we'll talk FCCLA or something like that. My Greenbrier kids will go, "What are you doing, Miss Vivio?" And I'm like, "Well, bring it and we'll put it on. You gotta bring me something and we'll put any of it on."
I love it.
But anyway, so I mean, it's just wonderful. Before we get too much into StayPositive.News, tell them what you do, because I love your story.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize you were a 2020 graduate, because I think that might have had that may have had something to do with your direction.
For sure.
Because as you were thinking things were going to go one way and then they went.
Yeah, they did.
You had to kind of reinvent yourself to deal with COVID.
Yeah.
And in reinventing yourself, you found a whole new path.
And it's kind of interesting, right? Because I feel like that reinvention journey has always kind of been my journey, because that's how I started. I own Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends here in Robertson County.
So cute.
Yes. And so we have nannies who go to homes to provide all care services. And that started in 2018. I was thinking 16 in 2018. I was 16 years old at that time. During that time, I had just gotten into a car accident. I was bedridden, and I knew that I wanted to be a teacher. And so my goal was to get in front of kids. I wanted my resume to reflect that. Started that career. It went great. I loved it. So then when I graduated in 2020, it was an interesting time, right? Because my younger self had always said, yes, you're going to be a teacher. This is what you want to do. And that was my goal and that was my plan. But I already had this amazing foundation of business that was sitting there, right? So it was August. I was enrolled in online classes. I dropped out of the dorm that I was supposed to be in thanks to COVID and all the things, right? And so I opened my laptop. It was time to start class. And I was like, nope. This isn't for me. And so I went out to my parents and I said, is it okay if I don't go to college and I just do Krislyn's Kiddos instead? And they said, of course. And so I really launched into that, and that was that journey, right? Giving me that freedom, and also becoming not an essential worker, but an essential worker for the essential workers. So I had a lot of nurses, and yeah, it's so cool. So nurses and surgeons and all kinds of different professions who would come in the door, take off their clothes and all the things, go straight to the shower and have to clean off these germs. And so it was important that I was there to take care of their kids and also help with tutoring. That was a time when tutoring got very serious because there were no teachers, right? So it really launched Krislyn's Kiddos into a lot of different things that I never imagined, and I'm still doing it today. So
That's incredible.
Yeah, we'll be 8 years this year, and I'm actively looking for more help in Robertson County. So if you know any babysitters, send them my way.
What blows my mind is you're sitting here telling your story. You say, we know you graduated in 2020 now, and you talk about in 2018 that you're sitting there and evaluating something from your younger self. Well, in 2018, you would have been 16.
Yes.
And how many of us had a grounding like this at that age? What a remarkable story.
It really was that car accident. It was that life-altering moment that made me sit there and think, all right, well, I've got the time. What am I going to do with it?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can do that and not sit and waller, because how many people do we know?
Yeah.
I mean, that you have an ache, you have a pain, and you're like, oh, and you've got to rise above it. And I don't mean to dismiss it and not have people not to have compassion for it, and to have compassion and take care of yourself. But when do you get to that point to say, I'm better than this. I don't want this to define me. I talk a lot about my experiences. I worked for 7 years, sort of full time at the Madison Church of Christ, and those that were there with me know what I'm talking about. It was never fully full time, but part of my job was working up at the Benevolence Center with our benevolence minister Terry Ashley. And we would come in, we do food and distribution and clothes distribution and Meals on Wheels and all those kinds of things. It's just one of the greatest blessings in my life is that time.
Love it.
And so one of the things, I would sit at the desk sometimes and we would take in because we worked with Second Harvest and food that was provided by, FDA food, you had to make documentation. There was some things we could just give away because we bought it with church funds. Yeah. But for USDA food, we had to document it. People would come in and you'd have to say incomes and all this kind of stuff. And several times I had young people, 18 years old, that straight out of school, and I was like, well, what's your income? Maybe they were living on the street, living in a car. They were waiting on their disability.
Wow.
And I'm like, who told you? And I would look them in the eye and say, what's the problem?
Yeah.
What's the problem? Why are you disabled? And it would be some kind of, oftentimes something that was kind of convoluted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who told you that you're disabled and that this is the way to go? Well, they say, if I can get disability, I should never turn it down and I should qualify. Yeah. And I'm like, do you understand that will imprison you to that amount of that little bit of income that you can't, you have to, I said that you're painting yourself into a corner just for a little bit of benefit. And I said, you're so much better than that. But so many people.
And I think that has to do so much, right, because it's the system. And I think it has so much to do with guidance. And as you were saying that, it brought me back to that moment. So in that car accident, I was in a wheelchair, I was in a back brace, and that was for about 3 months. And it was an interesting journey. I didn't give up. I still ran for class president in my wheelchair on stage and all the things, right? But one thing that really stuck out to me is leading up to that, for about a year, I had worked for the barbecue place Porch and Grill in White House, Tennessee. The Berry family owns that, and I got in the car accident after I got off work, actually, and I called them the next day. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. They're like, no problem, we'll let you rest and do what you need to do. Well, a few weeks later, she said, hey, are you bored? If you want to come in, you want to make some money, I want to give you the opportunity to do that. I'm like, Karen, I'm in a back brace, I do not need to be in your restaurant like this. She's like, no, I want to give you the opportunity if you want it. If you want to come in and train some of the new girls, that would be great. And so I did, and it brought so much joy. It brought that, okay, yes, I'm injured, but it doesn't mean that I'm less than, like, I'm going to recover from this, I'm going to become better from this, and I did. And so big thanks to them for instilling that in me. And then just the small town community as a whole, being in a family owned restaurant starting at 15 years old really instills something in you that will never leave. So I'm grateful for that.
I love it. And that's what StayPositive.News is about. And again, that's where we're going. Krislyn and I could again talk about this all day.
Yes.
Because we see the journey and we see the change when you allow the pain to warn you off of things that are harmful, but also to refine you through the fire.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful thing. So good.
Thank you.
Good stuff. StayPositive.News if you don't follow it, you need to. StayPositive.News, and you'll get all the good stuff. So what else do you want to talk about this morning? Where do you want to go? Stories you want to feature?
Yes, I do. I have a handful of stories, and one that I didn't actually have on the list, but I know that you would ask about it, Miss Mabel. So
Miss Mabel.
We are doing lots of Miss Mabel stories right now. She is live and active, and the most recent one that we had was about someone starting a job and talking about what it's like working that 9 to 5 in a community setting where you're with other employees and trying to get along with them, and what it's like when maybe one doesn't get along with you too well, right? Yeah. And so I encourage all of you to go to StayPositive.News and see what Miss Mabel recommends when that situation is happening. Mm-hmm. And I love it because Miss Mabel is always that honest truth that you really need, but it's also that giggle, right? So you can kind of laugh and be like, oh, yeah, she's right, and scoff it off and do what you want to do. So I love Miss Mabel, and I definitely wanted to bring her up for you. And Sarah's been updating graphics and different things, and so you might see a little refreshed view on some things, and I think it looks fabulous.
I love it, and I love that Sarah does all that she does. I have watched this company morph, because I was, whenever they first came in and said, we have this idea. And then it started, and then just more and more people have signed in and signed on to it. It's just been really a beautiful journey to watch.
It has been. And with that being said, in June, we are turning 3 years old. So here is our cute little birthday card.
I love it.
Brought this for you so you could join us. It is going to be on June 17th. We'll be meeting at Boom Boom Q in White House, Tennessee. And we will really be honoring the 3 years of news. And so I love how you talked about the growth of it, because it has been, right? And even us working in the field have been looking back at those first news stories that we did in the very beginning up until now, and the true difference. We're seeing that real organic. We're seeing more news stories each day. And so we're getting to a place that it's just flowing and flowing and flowing. And a question we get asked a lot is, how do you find good news stories? And it's so interesting. And honestly, sometimes I even ask myself that, because it all just kind of falls into place. And it's just a beautiful, incredible journey. And so I'm excited for everyone to join us and celebrate with us.
Well, and honestly and truthfully, all you got to do is just look for them.
Yeah.
I mean, because they're everywhere.
Yep.
They're everywhere. We're talking about the student spotlight. I mean, we keep talking about the ones at Greenbrier we need to share. Mr. V and I do, and we still need to do that.
Yeah.
So as I look at the student spotlights, man, I got 5 or 6 I could
That's
bring
awesome.
you,
Yeah.
and we've just got to get it done. But there's so much you've got to seek it. What you seek, you'll find.
Yes,
and that's all
absolutely.
there is to it.
And if you're looking for something in particular, you can go on the website, and we have a search button, so you can search anything. You can type in any of the words if you want to look up specifically students or specifically Miss Mabel. One of my favorite kind of sections right now is the local fun and flavor. That's why I wore my earrings today with some little watermelons and things on them, because it is bringing in all of the good that's happening in the community that you get to be a part of. So it's upcoming events, great food. Recently, I got to write an article, which doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's a privilege. And so I wrote an article on Smokin' Tales. It's a social club that happens on the first Thursday of each month at Boom Boom Q. It is really cool. We utilize the patio space, and then dogs are allowed to come in on leashes, and there's often sponsors and different things. And so it's a great community event to get together and connect with other dog owners and businesses. And
That's fun.
yeah, so it's a fun one. And we have so many coming out like that. We did one on Ruby's Happy Farm, and just lots of different options. So definitely go and check out all the local fun and flavor moving into this summer as you're looking into things to do. And then Sarah typically once a week at the end of the week will post what you should do over the weekend. And so that'll be a mix of things, like I say, from both Robertson and Sumner County. So you have a good array of options to.
So what kind of dog do you have? Do you go to this?
I do.
I was gonna say.
I have a little tiny Chihuahua. She is
You're kidding.
I'm not kidding, LaVern, and I've got to show you a picture soon. I carry her around in a bag, actually. So she does not like to hang out with the big dogs. So she just sits in like a little purse, and then that's how she attends these events. So she's a hit.
One of my dogs is
What?
Great Dane. Beast.
Giant.
We gave him a bath last night. Or
Wow.
He gave me one.
Right.
But,
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So we've got a field trip coming to my house on Friday with some of my kiddos, and I had to get my dog, a bath.
That's awesome.
So we're going to actually we're going to play with cameras outside just to kind of do some shooting and stuff about different lighting and stuff. So we're just having a field day basically. And my friend Muriel Barnett, who lives up the street, that used to be a teacher.
Yes, my teacher.
Yes, fabulous teacher. Love Muriel. She has. Did you ever meet her big old Mastiff dogs? Because she would bring them to
the football games. Yes, I think she did.
Yeah, she brought her first one to the ball games and to school.
Yep.
Moose would go to school.
Yes, Moose.
Moose. And after he passed, they got a new one named Bear.
Okay.
Well, Bear and Zeke, my dog, have not met. So we're going to capture the moment that these two giants meet on video. Wow. So it's going to be something for my kid. I mean, just something fun for my kids because they're about the same age.
Wow.
And so they still got that little puppy zoomy kind of thing going. And so it could be that they don't like each other and it's grr, and we have to pull them off, and I'll put mine in the barn, which is fine.
Right.
So we'll be controlling them until we see that they like each other.
Yeah.
And so we'll be super careful about it, but we just thought, wouldn't that be fun?
That's awesome.
Something silly for the kids to video and to
like
record.
an action and
So that's what we're staging on Friday. So when I saw the dog thing, I have to ask because then I have a chocolate lab that's just getting old, and he's just kind of he's down in his foot right now, and it's like, I know, buddy, me too. It's part of age, you know how that goes. But well, that's a great story. I love that, and the local fun and flavor. I love that because it just gives you, just things that everybody's like, well, I don't have anything to do in Robertson County or Sumner County. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Just open
More
it up.
than enough.
Just so much stuff. So much stuff. I love this local farm stand stuff because there's so many of them.
That's really special to me too, because that's actually another one that I wrote. And so what that looked like, right? So I had someone reach out to me who owned a local farm stand in White House, and she's like, "Hey, I would really love for you to come try some of my goodies." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." So I did, and then after that, I realized and got more requests. "Hey, come try some of my goodies. Come try some of mine." And so I'm like, "Wow, there's a ton of farm stands here in Robertson County." And even as you drive right through all of these windy back roads, you'll be on the back of back roads. Even Edgar Gillard Road has a little farm stand there. And so it's very interesting to see all these true hidden gems. And so I decided to make a post and ask everybody, hey, please comment your favorite local farm stand. And so the list really blew up beyond my own belief. And so I created a Google Maps for that.
It's great.
Thank you so much.
I'm just going, what? This is so stinking cool.
So you can click on that and it should give you the name of the farm and you'll be able to figure out how far that is. And my true goal with that is that somebody will take that this summer and make a farm stand day out of it. Drive around the county, check out the different stands, see who has the best this and the best that, and find your new favorite place.
Well, and there's several I know of that aren't on here that I can give you.
Add in.
You can add. So can you add them or can we add them?
I add them in. So I'll send you that info. It's on it's just on this post that we have, and then you can also post
there's Bernard Farms. I didn't see it. Okay, I was going to say Bernard Farms. Oh, and then you've got Hancock's. Never mind. They're there. They're there. I had to pull out a little bit further.
Yeah.
But, those are two that I'm quite familiar with. And do you have heads on here as well?
I think I do.
Okay. Because and that's the coolest thing, guys. I'm going to do this. Yay! Oh my gosh. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this summer. Maybe take a couple of my grandkids.
Yes. And check them out.
Yes. That would be so much fun.
Take pictures and tag the farm stands that you're going to. I think that's so important to really get the word out on them, let people know that they exist and share their specialties, because that was something so interesting as I was finding out more about the farm stands and tagging them and their locations and all of the different things, finding their specialties. So that was cool. Some do tallow, some do breads, some do sweets, some do freeze-dried things. So a big mix of things. But
I'm just getting a kick out of this. I'm just sitting here. I'm just going around. I'm like, well, there's that one.
And I want to go here.
I think there's still a few that we need to get on here.
I'll
get them to you. Yeah. I'll get them to you, that ones that I know about. But that's the thing. That's what we need to do. And there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you who could really give you some on this would be Lee Marie, because she just seems to know where everything is.
Yeah. And I've been sharing with our Robertson County Tourism too, Sarah Warren. I shared it over with her so she can get the word out and let everybody know.
What a neat story. I love that.
Thank you so much.
That map. That's so cool.
Yeah. It's so interesting because it was all organic. And then Sarah's like, oh, well, we're making a story out of this and we're adding the map. So it's super exciting. And I'm grateful when I get to write.
I hope that you guys will follow StayPositive.News and just get into all this, because it's so cool. They've got so much good information there. I tell you what, let's pause and do a break. We're at the bottom of the hour, and we definitely need to get one of our breaks in. And we're going to start today with my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty, and we're going to kind of spill over from that into Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. We've got some folks that are participating in the Bluegrass Festival going to be in here at the top of the hour. Right before we finish up, we'll bring them in, and they can just say hello too with me and Krislyn. Because they're going to be in on the Go Show, and Brother T is going to be filling in for Lee Marie this morning. So we got all kinds of things, but there's another full hour of local programming. You're going to get a little taste of what's going to be at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival this weekend. I'm going to be there, and I love it. It's one of my favorite weekends of the year. I've been blessed to be a part of this every year, and just so thankful to be there again. But we're going to have, the reason why I tied this into Barry and Rebecca is because that's how I met the Richards. They're in Cross Plains. This is in Cross Plains. They are founding members of the board that brings you the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, and one of the original sponsors, and still sponsor the program. But this is starting again Friday night. We're going to have the Dan Kelly fiddle competition, and it's musicians for any bluegrass instrument 14 and under that they're going to have a competition for. They're going to have clogging for 14 and under, and then 15 and up they're going to have a clogging competition. Then we're going to have a barn dance as well. Awesome time. That's this Friday. And then Saturday, starting at 11, we're going to have live bluegrass music. A $10 ticket will get you in all weekend. They're not trying to make money on this. They're just trying to pay for the event and pay it forward to where we can grow this event every year. So come out. Oh, and one thing too, like one of the junior pro leagues is going to be making up pancakes there from the East Robertson.
Yeah.
Kids on Saturday morning, I think starting at 8. So you can come up to the pavilion at the top of Kilgore Park and you can have pancakes and then just come on down and be a part of the festivities, bring your lawn chair, all the things. So that's the Kilgore ad. You'll see Barry and Rebecca there this weekend as well. They'll have their tent. That is a great time for you to come in and sit down and talk to them about everything involved in real estate. They've got their computer there. They can do a free market analysis on your property if you'd like. They can talk to you about what the price ranges are in the area that you're looking in. Then they'll tell you to go get pre-qualified. And a lot of times they'll send you over to my friends at Valor Mortgage that we're going to talk about in just a minute. But you've got to get pre-qualified when you're buying because you don't want to go looking at a home that is out of your reach. And that's where they're going to tell you to start if you're buying. Now, if you're selling, that free market analysis is critical to make sure you don't overprice your property to where people won't be able to, number one, get financing for it, and number two, it just won't jive with what the market is saying in your area. It's so critical that you do that preliminary work when you're buying or you're selling. And if you want to be a realtor, you need to talk to realtors and talk to them about what it's really like. So some of you kiddos coming out of high school that are interested in going right into real estate, great couple to talk to, and they will be at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Great opportunity to sit down and talk to them. If you can't make it to the festival, you can reach out to them and meet with them anytime. Sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. They are, of course, officed up in Cross Plains. They are local. They have offices, the Exit Prime office. Barry has his brokerage office here in Springfield. Her agency office is in White House. And together, along with some other realtors, they have Exit Prime Realty. The number to call them if you want to connect with them, it's 615-504-7425, 615-504-7425 or 7424, or go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com, and let them know you turned sent ya. I know that was a long ad, but we had to talk about Kilgore Festival and all the things. So, Krislyn, where do we want to go next?
So before we went on that ad, we talked about just following along. And so I wanted to let everyone know that we have Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok that you can follow along. And on those pages, you'll see some links. And so that's kind of in the bio section typically. You'll click on that, and that is our link tree. So that'll be the hub to all of the links that we have. So on there, you'll see our website information, all of the socials. You'll also see a community spotlight. So if you have someone in the community that you think needs to be spotlit and shown what they're doing, then you can add them there, and then you can also sign up for our newsletter there. So there's a lot of different opportunities. And let me just say, when you get a Stay Positive News newsletter, it's not like a newsletter, right? It's just like this good local news, and you're like, wow, I get this. And so it's something special that I'm grateful for.
I love it. So good. So
definitely follow along. And moving into more stories, one of the very first stories here I want to talk about is Terry Eden and his legacy story. And so, like I was saying earlier, that connection, that feel good is what is really special to us. So we talk about Terry and his family, and so it's just really this family story where they were here in the White House, Millersville area long ago and set up all of these electric lines. And it's interesting that the story is coming up now after we experienced the ice storm without electricity, and that's really what brought it back to the forefront. Him saying, well, I remember putting those poles in, and now, now we're dealing with the struggles of it and things like that. So really having that small town impact, knowing that he's living the good life and he's grateful that he had the opportunity to be a founding part of making sure that we had what we needed here. And then now he's just a cattle farmer living his best life here in Robertson County, like most do, right? And so, he has this quiet influence that is kind of hummed over the town and continues to. And so that's something that we really wanted to show the community and bring him to the forefront, because I feel like a lot of those people who have those impacts are just kind of left behind the curtains and really don't even recognize the impact that they've had. And so that's something that we just wanted to show. And I wanted to ask you, LaVern, who has left a lasting impression on your life?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So many people.
Yeah.
People that's my parents, number one. I mean, they're, very, very much. My parents have, my friends, my dear friends, I could start naming, but you know what I'm saying?
Yes, and I think that's important because
it's friendships, it's my parents, it's my family. My brother and I are super close, and my oldest nephew, my kids, my husband, really tops the list.
Yeah.
Right
what
there.
I'm hearing is like who pours into you and what you pour into, right? And that's what makes that lasting impression.
Yeah.
So I love that. And I think that's a lot of what he did, right? He poured into the White House community and made that lasting impression. So I think that's really sweet.
Yeah. Very good.
The next one is really fun. It is called Reading Between the Lines, and it is about a local band from Hendersonville, Tennessee, and they are called The Field Trip. And they got their name because it's 4 guys, and they were touring a studio here in Tennessee, and the producer walks out and says, "What are you guys doing? Are you on a field trip or something?" And they're like, "No, like, we're here because we're wanting to be legit." But they knew right then that was going to be their name. And so their name is The Field Trip. They rehearse and practice. They released an EP recently, so lots of exciting things happening. Something that's so interesting about their journey, though, is that they've been together for a while. And like I said, there's 4 guys, but at the August of this year, it was only 2. We had 2 that had graduated last year and then 2 that were seniors. And now we're in that exact same position again. We have 2 who are seniors, 2 who are juniors. And so it was amazing to read through their story, hear those trials and tribulations. And then also it kind of makes me think back to myself, kind of how you talked about having that positive just mindset going into anything like that. And so that's really what they have too. They're still having that openness to be like, well, whoever comes, we're happy that they're going to be a part of it. And we're soaking in these moments right now while we get to. And so they're on the cusp of adulthood, finishing out all of the excitement of senior year, but also mourning the time that they've spent together, rehearsing and making fabulous things and wondering who will fill those spaces. And so it's a really unique, detailed interview, really. There's some quotes from them in there, and one of my favorite quotes was him talking about reminiscing through the times I'm reading between the lines. And I think that's so interesting as a 18-year-old to be able to look back and really read between those lines and see those details that were woven into the big moments that happened in life. And so it's been really incredible to see them do their thing, and just joy is what I see when I see their pictures. When I see them together doing music, they emanate joy. And so it's really great that they all grew up here in Tennessee and had these childhood moments together, obviously music related, and just going to continue to have that hometown feel moving through whatever they do next.
Now, I'm trying to find that story. What is the heading on that story? Because I would love to see that one. I haven't seen that.
I think it's called Reading Between the Lines.
It's Reading Between the Lines. Okay. So I'm looking for that one because I want to see that. And this is a band then.
Yes, it is.
That is really cool because we have that same kind of scenario happening up at Greenbrier because we started having a talent show and these kids started finding each other, and it's just the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, it is
but I really want to see that because I want the kids to see that.
Yeah.
And because that is so important. And a lot of the times, some of them do move on. They end up going into college, and you have to adapt and move on. That is so cool. I love that you're doing that. That is really neat. And it just reminds me again the stories that I need to show. Let me see that. I'm still looking for it.
It's printed tiny, but up there at the top left, you can kind of see the title.
Yeah. Okay, good deal. I'll find it because I really want to share that with some of my students that are going through that right now as they're trying to kind of figure out what they're going to do with their band. And we've got a lot of the kids that have just gotten involved with our music that are still going to be around. So that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
But that is so cool. We're talking with Krislyn Mercer, and she is. Tell them the name of your company again.
With Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends. And then today I'm here to represent StayPositive.News. So our website is StayPositive.News, and you can find us on Facebook or Instagram as well.
Very good. And also too, you talk about, Krislyn Kiddos, but do you also do stuff with older folks? Do you have opportunities for that? For some reason, I was thinking that you did.
I don't personally, but my mom does, which is hilarious that you asked that.
That's wonderful. That tie-in. There you go.
There is. And so, Peaceful Pathways is the name of that. And so, And what's interesting is she started that journey after I started my journey, right? So she saw, hey, my daughter is going and providing care services, and she worked in the medical field for over 20 years and decided that she could do the same and has fallen in love with it. She does elderly care and does an incredible job. She gets all the praise, and those patients become my grandparents. And so it's really
love that.
special. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. And that was going to be my next question is who came first?
Yep. It was me.
You or her. And I love it when, that's what some of the coolest things. And I tried the seniors that I'm close to. I try very hard to write them a note, and this is something I've started just last year. I wish I'd done it for all my seniors because they would leave, and I just want to say something to them, didn't know what to say, and I finally kind of figured it out last year, and I write them a little note, and to several of them, one in particular, I'm like, man, you taught me so much because they did.
I love it.
I learned so much from them, and
and to think this is your retirement job.
No, I love it.
All you would have missed out on learning, right?
It's just the greatest blessing ever.
Yeah.
Greatest blessing ever.
That's awesome.
Go check out Robertson County Schools and look at the jobs available and see if
Yes.
there's something for you out there. If you've retired, consider retiring and to teacher like myself, my husband Mark, and Chris Valines have done. And we all three. I mean, we retired into teaching.
And
they're
Anita
loving
Cersei,
it.
too, she retired as a
Who
teacher.
did?
Anita Cersei, are you familiar with her? She was at Greenbrier for a while. Now she's at Heritage. She retired as a teacher, but then came back and is teaching again so I think that's kind of interesting, too.
That's
And
just it. She just couldn't give it up.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to talk a few that are retiring out of retiring. My friend Muriel.
That's what I was going to say. Mural?
Miriam Barnett, math teacher, superhero. Math teachers they're superheroes. I'm sorry. What they have to try to get through, and oh my goodness,
Testing and
yeah, for sure. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and let's do another ad, and then we'll reset and we'll come back, and we're going to talk about, I kind of teased this. We're going to talk about Valor Mortgage because my two full-time sponsors tie together now in such a beautiful way. I first met Chris when he came in to talk about VA loans with Scott from our Veteran Service Office, and they were talking Valor Mortgage. I thought, they're all for veterans. No. They've got VA loans, but they also have everything else you need, from VA loans to FHA loans. They've got conventional jumbo financing, everything. And the cool thing is, you're not a number. You're not a number. When you call these 1-800 numbers, you think, I want to check into refi. Can I get a little bit lower rate? Maybe I want to get some equity out. And you become a number. And then you also get spammed like crazy the minute you call these numbers and put in your information. Guys, Valor Mortgage is a local mortgage company, and they're going to be your team. You're going to have a absolute team of experienced loan officers that are going to help you through one of the biggest decisions you're ever going to make, and that's buying a home. They're going to make sure you don't bite off more than you can chew. We've all heard stories about people that just got in a little bit over their head because everybody's like, sure, you can do that. They're going to evaluate how much can you qualify for, what's really going to work with your budget, and they are going to walk with you through that decision. Whether it be you're buying your first home, or maybe you're wanting to do some investment and you're wanting to have another property and then rent one or do something like that, or maybe it's a refinance, anything like that, want to get some equity out. Those kinds of things, they can walk you through it. And all you have to do to find out more is give them a call at 615-671-9178, 615-671-9178, or go to valor.mortgage to get pre-approved today, because when it matters most, you deserve a lender you can trust. They have offices right here in downtown, but Chris will tell you, call them, because a lot of times they're out and about taking care of folks. They're just 2 doors down from the theater, though, if you do need to meet them downtown. But you can buy with confidence when you buy with Valor. Valor Mortgage, NMLS 1210804, DBA of Encore Lending Group, NMLS 1249911, equal housing lender, subject to credit approval, rates and terms subject to change without notice, not a commitment to lend. Always let our sponsors know U-Turn sent you. Thank you very much.
I love
Where
it.
we headed next?
Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about probably one of my favorite stories that I've ever heard, honestly. And on top of that, Sarah created a reel where she went out to the barn store, recorded a porch conversation. So they're just sitting, rocking on front porch.
Love it.
And having that conversation and talking. So really incredible. And so what that story is that they have a sales manager there now. And before she was a sales manager, she was an ICU nurse. And so in that, she was dealing with all of the different things. And so she had a patient come in who was not doing too great. She had this gut instinct, she called it her spidey senses, tell her that something wasn't going to go good and she needed to be prepared. So she got a crash cart ready. She pulled everything out and everyone kind of told her, like, what is wrong with you? What are you doing? And she's like, no, like, I need to be prepared for this. And they're like, well, it's just right there. And she's like, no, I need it instantly in case I need it. And so 5 minutes later, she hears, goes in, gets the crash cart. She was able to get him back, jumped on, did CPR, and saved him. Well, shortly after that, she was no longer an ICU nurse, but that man and his wife, who had called every single day during that time, checking on him and talking to her, they continued looking for her. They went back to the hospital. They were like, we're looking for this nurse. She saved my life. And they were continuously told over and over and over again, sorry, she's not here. She's not here. We don't know. So then one day, the barn store sales manager, former ICU nurse, gets a call. Hey, we would love for you to come out, give us a quote. And she's like, I'm really sorry, but I'm not going to be able to make it today. And she had some other people on her team that she was able to send, but she was like, I really feel like that I need to go, and I'm going to give you that quote. So if you can give me 2 days, I'll be out there. So he gave her a few days. She went out there, and she saw a scar on his neck. And as soon as she saw the scar, she said that it went back to a flashback, and she felt like she was right there doing it all over again. And she said his name, she said his room number, and in that, it was giving me chills. And in that moment,
Wow.
They knew, and he was like, you're the one who saved my life. And
Wow.
he was like, come on. And he went and got his wife, and his wife
Wow.
brought his notebook out where she had doodled her name and written her name a million times and had just hoped that they would reconnect one day. And they did. And so it was so incredible. I know, like, it almost makes me
So
emotional
good.
because it is awesome. And so what's really powerful about this is that the barn store has been, Sarah said, a supporter since day 00. They have been one of those OG supporters. And so to have someone that supports us as a partner, but also has these stories happening within their field and is willing to share them with us is so moving and so
is so
powerful.
cool.
So she did just everything right, I would say, waiting. Instead of sending someone else, she just trusted her gut. And
that
whenever
wow?
it is, and they made that connection, and it was something that she will never forget. And I'm so grateful that she shared it with us.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool. See, now all these stories I gotta go in and I go in and read them
Peek
up.
it, yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. I
Yeah.
love it.
And it has all of our favorite things in there. It has that full circle moment where you're just like, where you can almost take that deep breath and know it happened. Here we are. It has that human connection where we are all just human and want to be together and support each other in that way, and unexpected reunions and just that lasting impact. So
Checking out the barn store wow.
they are awesome.
legit.
So legit.
Yeah.
And on our reel that we do, they have like a little logo thing that pops up at the
Yeah.
end, and it's really cool.
I'm sitting here looking at it. I'm
Yes.
so impressed.
Yeah. Everything is super
That
nice.
is so nice. What beautiful, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. I love it.
Yes.
Outstanding. Well, what a neat company. I want to meet these people.
Yeah, they're awesome.
really cool.
They do work all over.
That's really where are they located? In White House or?
Honestly, I think they're located in Springfield, I feel like.
Well, we need to get them on the radio.
Pretty sure they are.
I need to get them on the
Yeah, check.
radio. Now that we've got this story out there, I want to talk about all those things.
Right.
That
Do
is
you
so
have
cool.
any stories like that you thought of, like where you've had that full circle moment, even like maybe with a student or with anyone, where you're like, yeah, we were meant to see each other at this time, or
Yeah, not right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You've gotten me twice today. I'm like,
you're getting me?
I'm in the middle of writing our news review for the semester, so that's all that's running through my head
I
right
understand
now. I was
that.
trying to go, I got to get this. You know how it is, those
I
little
do.
details.
I
I've
do.
got all these little details in
Yeah.
my head right now, but I will think on that because I
Yeah.
know that there always are.
Yeah.
We see that all the time.
And it feels good to remember, right? Because yeah, of course there are times, and I myself am even thinking, okay, when have I? And I think again back to the Berry family and just being able to reunify with them later on after I started my business and all the things. And so yeah, just those moments are
And
special.
I'll tell you sometime, because I want you to get through all your stories. The story about how I even had the notion to go into radio is
Yeah.
because of something that was said to me by a local radio personality from Mayfield, Kentucky.
I love it.
And Gary Kidd.
Yeah.
And again, that's that whole story. And it's just one thing he said. And because of that, it reminds me that one thing I say may be the thing that really pivots
Yes,
a kid.
someone else.
And so you've got to be so careful, guys.
Yeah.
You know, go to scripture, every word that comes out of your mouth matters. And I'm not going to try to quote it right now, but you only want what is helpful for building others up, and I forget exactly where the address of that scripture, but you know what I'm talking about. And the things that come out of your mouth can be a game changer to the positive or the negative. And I just think all the time about that simple thing that Gary said to me when I was in high school.
Wow.
That put me on a path of a career that I had not even considered.
Wow.
Not even considered.
And then now, in my eyes, watching you create that path for so many other students in Robertson County. So, isn't that incredible?
It's just that full circle. It really is. It's really
there
cool.
It is. Yeah.
Very cool. And I know we want to bring our field players in here. That's I was like, what am I hearing? I'm like, I'm hearing bluegrass. I'm hearing happy music. So let's go ahead and run through the rest of your stories.
I just have one more thing.
And let's get them in here for
I'm really done with the stories. We talked about that local fun and flavor earlier, so we're good on that. But the very last thing I want to share, we've been talking a lot about student spotlights, talking about your fabulous students. And so one thing that I want to spotlight are our student interns. So we have Kelsey and Henry, and they're both our student interns. Kelsey is from Heritage, and then Henry is from White House, and they're really focusing on creating reels, working on articles, social content, being the face in the community, getting out there and representing our brand while also getting that content and just that fresh, organic perspective. It's so nice to have them in the field to be throwing things in and saying, what about this? Or what if we did it this way? So big shout out to Kelsey and Henry. They make Stay Positive News what it is, and we're always looking for other interns or ambassadors. So if you know anyone who is just really into what we're doing and wants to continue spreading that message, we're happy to add you on as an ambassador. Get you a t-shirt and smile around.
I love it. I love it. That's wonderful.
Yep.
Very good. And again, StayPositive.News. StayPositive.News is what you need to reach out to and follow. And we got to do a story on the Kilgore.
Yeah,
Festival.
we do.
It's this weekend.
I'm excited.
And I don't know. Can you yell at them and tell them to come in here and we'll pull up another chair and pull up the other microphone and we'll just bring everybody in for a second because we want to talk Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival. Lee Marie is out today, but she made arrangements for some of the musicians to come on, and we just wanted Brother T is going to come in here and go ahead, Krislyn, and pull that other microphone up. And she can sit here, and y'all kind of come in. And, hey, Brother T, will you bring another chair in for me if you don't mind? Bring another chair in, and go ahead and sit. We're just going to make it comfortable. But I want Krislyn in here because I want her to hear all this. And she may have something she wants to add.
I'll share it all about it. Tell all the people to join us.
That's just it. And we want to bring all you guys in here. But we have got, so we got Lee Thomas and Thomas Townsley. Right? Do I have the names right? Lee Thomas and Thomas Townsley?
That's right.
And, all right. And who are you guys all with? What bands are y'all with? So tell me about, because I'm assuming you're part of you're part of our show, right? This weekend?
Yeah.
Yes.
So what are y'all, because I'm your host. I'm your timekeeper. I'll be the one to say,
That's right.
you got to, get off and on. And which band are you with?
So our main group is the Resonauts.
See, that's what I thought. I thought these are the Resonauts because they've been with me before. I thought I recognized you guys. Yeah. And because when they were talking about that, when I saw y'all on the list, I'm like, well, they've been on my show. And I was pretty sure I recognized you guys when y'all came walking in. And so that is so super cool. I'm so glad you're in here. But yeah, I'll be your timekeeper. I'll go, okay, you got time for 2 more.
I remember you doing that last year. You did a good job.
Yeah, well, thank you very, very much. Yeah. So guys, you want to invite everybody out to the show?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a blast.
I know.
I've been there a couple
Come up on that microphone. You know how those work.
I know. You do this to me.
I know.
So, yeah, it's a great time. Beautiful piece of property out there. I always, at some point, find my way with my feet in the creek at some point behind the barn.
Absolutely.
You got to do that. And lots of great music. Good food, vendors, all of that. It's going to be a great time. And the price is like ridiculous.
$10.
Affordable.
$10. It's like I was telling them, this is not one of those things where we're trying to make money. We're just trying to pay it forward and keep this festival growing and getting better and better for the community. It's a nonprofit. So, it's just a great event. It is a great event. Hope you'll be there. And are y'all going to play something for us?
Yeah, let's play something. What do you want to play?
Yeah. You want to do You Diamond?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's hear it. Let's get you in the mood for the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, and we got another full hour of the Go Show coming up. So go ahead and play us out and back into the other show. And Krislyn, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of it. She's StayPositive.News. We're going to do a story on it.
Okay.
And you need to do a story on this band too. They're a lot of fun. They got a great story.
This
got a great story.
this one here is one Thomas wrote, and we do bluegrass, but we also do a whole bunch of other stuff. And we love bluegrass, traditional bluegrass. We like everything, But this is a kind of a nice morning song that Thomas wrote. It's just going to be some instrumental stuff. So
Cool.
Okay.
Let's do it. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my goodness, my goodness. I've played guitar off and on my entire life, but I chord. I mean, I can't do what y'all do. And when I see the miracle of what you can do with strings and wood and the human spirit, it blows my mind. But the discipline that it takes to get to the level that both of you are, and I remember, like I said, I've forgive me for not just immediately going, oh, hey guys, but it just, I don't know, it just didn't click that it was y'all coming in here this morning, but I was so impressed with y'all when y'all came in the studio. Y'all are all just beyond brilliant on your instruments. I mean, you really are, and it's just all flooding back to me. I'm like, oh yeah, they're just, we talked about how long y'all have been playing and how disciplined you are and what it takes, but man, it's just so impressive every time I see you guys. I'm so excited during the show.
Thank you.
It's going to be so fun.
really
What
excited.
position in the show are you guys?
We go on at 3:30.
3:30. Okay,
Yeah.
that's perfect. That's great. We just make sure no storms come in. We're just going to, get good weather and all that kind of thing. But we've got coverage out there. There'll be a tent up and things like that. So it'll be good. And we can also have it in the barn. We can flip it around. They told you about all, y'all know
Really?
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you basically, the way the barn is set up now, if rain comes in, they open the doors and the band just turns around.
That's great.
And then people come, and it works really well. It works really well.
Never heard of that.
Oh my gosh, it's fabulous.
Yeah,
And we've had to do, what will happen to on Friday night is the kids will do their competition and the band will be up on the stage. They'll open the doors, they'll turn around, then we'll have a square dance inside the barn. It's just the coolest space
On
ever.
Friday, I'm going to help with the square dance.
Oh, nice.
Just to
To work with the Chuns. They're fabulous.
The fiddle players need a break, so there'll be multiple of us, and I'm there not just to kind of give Gordon a breather. He's one of the main fiddle players for the square dance, and and they asked me to do the national anthem.
That's what I was just going to ask.
And so-
See, that was the thing. I have been after them every year. I said, we do this wonderful, we present the colors with the local VFW and and it's just so cool. I'm like, we need to have these musicians play the national anthem. And so I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled. Are you doing it just on fiddle, or are you going to join him?
I'm going to do fiddle, and Troy, you remember Troy?
Yeah?
He's
Okay.
going to back me up with a little bit of light classical guitar underneath of it, and
it's going to be so
y'all pray
good.
for me, because I got some nerves,
You're going to do great. You're going to do great.
That's one song you don't want to mess up, so I will.
I'm excited. No pressure. 250th anniversary and all that.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, no pressure,
I'll do my
Lee.
best, right?
No pressure. No pressure at all. That's great. Oh, I'm thrilled that y'all are doing that, because I have wanted to hear that. I've been wanting to hear really good, instrumental of the national anthem, because I mean, what better place?
Yeah.
What better place? So I'm so glad you're doing that. That's awesome. You got to come to the Cougar Station
Yeah.
Bluegrass Festival.
Great.
It's going to be awesome this weekend. I'm so thrilled. But so I'm going to see you there Friday, and I'll see you there on Saturday. So
on Saturday,
cool,
yeah.
cool. We're going to make the transition between between 1 Street Over and the Go Show right now, and we're going to do little sounders and kind of flip it over. But stay with us, because you guys are going to hang out, and then I think at 8:30 they got Sheila coming in. That they've got another event this weekend that benefits my father's house, and you can hit them both, guys. You can go to both of them. There's a car show and all that at the fairgrounds. So it's going to be a busy weekend here in Robertson County. Thank you, Krislyn, for being a part of it. StayPositive.News. Follow them, and slide that mic over and tell them again how to find your business, if you don't mind, before we go.
You can find us at StayPositive.News or on our Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok accounts, which can all be found in our bio under our LinkedIn.
Tell them how to find you for the work you
And
do.
Yes, I'm Krislyn with Krislyn's Kiddos and Furry Friends, and you can find me on Facebook. I would love for you to friend me so I can connect with you, and then from there we can see how we can collaborate and I can support you.
And
It's
one thing
LaVern.
too, she's looking for people to work. So if you've got people that want to
Desperately.
do babysitting and things like that, she can find some work for them.
Yep.
And I've got this is completely unrelated, but let me throw this out before we go. Danny Ashley, they're doing, there's a big play going on called Making Hands, and that's a reference to the tobacco heritage we have. They are casting that play.
Yep.
And they desperately need a teen or college age African American girl and boy. Okay. So if you know of those two kiddos, at, teen to college age, they've got real important roles for them in this. And this is a powerful original production that's going to be back at the Historic Theater over at the old, the old high school, which is now the IA Academy. And so
It's the history of Robertson County
my gosh.
and tobacco. It's
it's-
very
and
impressive.
this is a summer production, and so we need a couple of kiddos. So if you know of a couple of kiddos in the African American community, teen girl, teen boy, real important roles that Danny's looking for. So please reach out to Robertson County Players. You might know some kids.
Yeah, I'll
So
send them
yeah,
your way.
absolutely. And y'all might know some kiddos. Even in Nashville, we bring people in from Nashville to be in these plays. I mean, these plays that Robertson County Players does, phenomenal.
Yeah, they are.
I mean,
I love Charlotte's
productions
Web.
that are just amazing. So with that said, we're going to make the switch over to the Go Show, and we'll have more for you right here. Complete local programming for another full hour on 1100 WSGI. And God bless you. Have a great day.
Join me, Lee Marie, every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on WSGI for the Go Show. Your